Title: Xero the Lizard King, The Serpent's Return. Long ago, before the Empire's roads stretched south and before the jungles were mapped by human hands, there was a kingdom hidden in the steaming heart of the marsh. It had no name outsiders could pronounce. The locals called it Sunscale, a place of thick vines, deep water, and voices older than language. Here, the lizard folk ruled beneath canopies that never let the sun die. And at the top of it all, seated on a throne of fossilized serpent bones, was King Xero. He was not born into power. He claimed it, with blade, tooth, and vision. Xero was a warrior philosopher, crowned not by bloodline, but by prophecy. The elders said he was chosen by Ithquor, the ancient serpent god, long dead, long forgotten, to reunite the marsh tribes under one banner. And for a time he did. With cunning diplomacy, divine charisma, and violent precision, Xero brought peace to a people who had never known it. But peace is a fragile thing in Sunscale. It wilts in the wet heat, and envy grows quickly in the shadows. His most trusted general, Vrak the Ironblood, did not believe in gods. He believed in blades, in control, and in the end, he believed the throne should be his. The betrayal came like a fever, sudden, suffocating, and cruel. Fires lit the reeds. Poison bled into the water. Xero's temple collapsed beneath the weight of treachery. The Lizard King was thrown from power, his sacred crown shattered, and the scale of Ithquor, the god relic said to bind the throne to the world, was lost beneath the muck. They say Xero died that night, but they are wrong. Page 2. 20 years later, in the village of Grubwatch, something stirs. It begins with whispers. Children dreaming of golden snakes curled around stone thrones. Shaman fires flickering green for no reason. And at night, in the still waters near the black cypress trees, something walks where nothing should. A figure wrapped in worn leathers and tattered silk, violet once, but now stained with mud and time. A tall, lean lizard folk with silver-green scales dulled by exile. His eyes, once regal and sure, now burn with something deeper: obsession, determination, the sort of madness that only comes with purpose. He calls himself Xero, just Xero. He no longer wears a crown. He carries only a strange relic around his neck, a cracked emerald scale that glows softly in the dark, the last remnant of a god that may have never existed. The villagers think he's a mad prophet, a relic chaser, a vagrant. He thinks they're insects with no memory, but he doesn't kill them. Not yet. Xero's return is not one of vengeance, not entirely. He doesn't want their gold, or their temples, or even their loyalty. He wants the throne, not the carved stone seat from his ruined palace, but the real throne, the one promised in myth. The serpent throne, said to slumber beneath the marsh, hidden for 1,000 years, built when God still walked on two legs. And he is not alone. Page 3. By firelight, in half-flooded ruins and taverns with no roofs, Xero gathers a party of mercenaries, mystics, and madmen. There is Bragg, a dwarven cleric who once served the Church of Flame, but lost his hand to heresy. He follows Xero not out of faith, but because the swamp told him to. There is Kip, a fey thief with one blue eye and one black, who hears the jungle sing in her sleep. And then there's Mock, a goat-headed warlock who only speaks in soliloquies and believes this is all a grand stage play written by dead gods with no taste. Together, they follow Xero into the heart of the marsh, beyond where maps go blank and compasses spin like drunk dancers. They descend into the hollow ziggurat, a forgotten temple swallowed by vines and guarded by things that should not breathe. Inside, they find the first piece: the serpent's eye, a jewel of impossible shape, floating in a pool of venom that hisses at the moon. Xero doesn't hesitate. He reaches into the poison, grabs the eye, and screams as it fuses into the socket where his left eye used to be. He collapses, convulses, and dreams of Ithquor, not as a statue or a symbol, but as a living, coiling god, the size of cities with obsidian fangs and a crown made of stars. When he awakens, he is different. Not larger, not stronger, but realer. Page 4. Now, the rumor spread. A king walks again in the Sunscale marsh. He does not carry banners or armies, only strange relics, eyes that glow, and words that make people remember what they were. Lizard folk tribes stir from exile. Swamp spirits twist toward him. Even the Empire takes notice. General Vrak, now a bloated tyrant ruling from a poisoned palace, laughs when he hears Xero's name. He's dead, he snarls. He died long ago. But deep down, he's afraid. He remembers what the old gods whispered before they went silent. He who bears the scale returns with blood. He who takes the eye returns with fire. And he who reclaims the throne returns with death. Xero has the scale, now the eye, and somewhere out there, beneath stone and time, waits the final piece. The crown of fangs, not a thing forged by mortals, but grown from the bones of Ithkor itself, said to twist the mind, to grant visions, to awaken the sleeping god beneath the marsh. Xero wants it. The world isn't ready for what happens if he gets it, but he's coming anyway. And when he sits on that throne, it won't matter who betrayed him, who laughed at him, or who tried to forget. Because when a God King returns, he doesn't knock. He rules. Subscribe and follow the journey as Xero rises from exile and marches toward the Serpent Throne.